Hey SoulCal pals, it is your friend the Happy Color here. So I did a little experiment on Xbox Ranked today. Basically, I wanted to see how many times I could hit with Hilde's 30-second charge attacks. So if you didn't know about these 30-second attacks, Hilde basically has a charge A and a charge B. To use the charge A, you hold horizontal for 30 seconds. To use the charge B, you hold vertical for 30 seconds. Most Hildes don't use these attacks that commonly, and the reason is quite practical. If you're holding A, you're giving up a lot. You're giving up your throws, you're giving up your CE, your soul charge, your soul attack, and all your A plus B attacks and your A attacks. B, same thing. You're giving up RI, you're giving up RE, soul attack, soul charge, CE, and all your A plus B combination attacks. It is a heavy price to pay. But despite the heavy price, the 30-second charges are amazing. And the reason I think they're amazing is they truly shine when you've conditioned opponents. For example, as we see in the video of the recordings I did tonight, I'm hitting opponents on whiff, I'm hitting opponents on block, or I'm hitting opponents on re-GI. Generally, that's how it's working. This isn't coming about because these players are bad. As a matter of fact, many of these players that I'm hitting with tonight are actually much better players than me. It's working as either I've conditioned bad habits, or it's working as they're naturally a defensive player. Despite the charges being totally amazing, without conditioning, just sitting there holding your buttons, you're gonna be pretty much doomed. As soon as an opponent realizes you're doing this, it's definitely in their interest to rush you down and just straight up murder you. And that's because you're holding down the button, you don't have your full tool set. That being said, there are so many tricky ways to hide it. Starting around with a soul charge and then playing defensive. Not only does this hide the count on the clock, but it also makes people less likely to approach you. Beyond this, there are tons of other ways to make this technique viable. And I think there are comparison techniques in the game. Yoshimitsu, for example, has his suicide attack in which he stabs through himself. This is an unblockable attack, it does a ton of damage, and it's very quick. The trade-off for Yoshimitsu is that he loses health. The trade-off for Hilde is that she loses time, damage, and tools. Anywho, the only reason I'm recording voice to this video is because I landed this so many times tonight. You know, you never realize how many times you land something until you commit yourself to record every single instance in which you do across the session. So just remember, it's a niche technique, but it is definitely super viable and usable, especially on whiff. And even if you're not a Hilde, at least you can know what to look for. If Hilde's up in your face and she's not using her sword for a long time, she's probably charging A. If she's a little bit at a distance and she's not using her spear, she's probably charging B. Just keep that in mind and you'll be prepared for it, or at least as prepared as you can be online when you can barely react to anything. Have a good one, SoulCal pals.